Hello, everyone. This is Nidal Haykal with new guest, season 2 and episode 11 from my show, Nidal Haykal Live. My guest for today is a professional content creator and a HubSpot SEO certified. With her colorful and elegant background from the industry, she chooses the good looking and meaningful words. My guest is Valerie Mekki, who masters to keep the reader engaged with the content from the headline to the conclusion. Beside content creation, Valerie is a WordPress blogger, but not only writing blog articles, she knows how they play a role in the overall search engine optimization strategy. Let's all welcome my special guest for today, Valerie Mekki.
Hi.
Hello, Valerie.
Hi, it's nice to be here. Can you hear me?
Show, Valerie.
Is it stable?
I hear you perfectly, yes.
Okay,
yes.
Okay. In the beginning, it was a little unstable, and I'm not sure about my Wi-Fi here.
No, usually every live I go, the first minute, it hesitates a little, and then with the available equipment.
Mm-hmm. Okay, no,
welcome, Valerie.
It's perfect now. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. You're looking great. And before we start, I want to say thank you, Bruce, the guy in the blue shirt who introduced me to you, Valerie. And I really appreciate his support too. Valerie, welcome with us today. And you are looking great as usual. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well on this Saturday morning here in California. This is a really big weekend for myself and my family because this weekend I'm moving my son into college, into his dorm.
Wow, that's a big step, huh? It's a big test.
Yes, and it is.
You posted about that yesterday, right, on LinkedIn, and you was asking if someone have a previous experience with this. I can't tell you what I felt when I watched the post. It's really touchy, and I know it's not easy for parents. It's basically my kids sometimes, like, they go for camping for a couple of days. I start talking to myself with my wife, it's really, I totally understand, and maybe it's multiplied by 100 times more. Valerie, can you share with us what was your feelings this day as you are taking your son to the dorms for the first time?
The feeling is a little bit like a celebration for me, in a way, that now we can experience an actual college experience. The reason being is because he didn't get a traditional graduation from high school going into college because we were in the middle of the pandemic. So everything was virtual back then. So, you have these thoughts of your children walking the stage for graduation. And unfortunately, I mean, it's not the worst thing that can happen during the pandemic, but that was something that we were not able to experience with the whole ceremony. Everything was done over Zoom. So today it finally feels like an actual experience that we can, it doesn't have anything to do with being virtual. You're actually it's happening. So it's such a big milestone, and I was reflecting about it, and I was just feeling so excited for him. If we could step out of our body and kind of look into a beginning of a chapter, wouldn't that be really amazing just to take in that moment? And I was sharing that with him last night. I'm like, I hope you take in this moment because you're embarking something new.
What was the situation from his point of view? Did he share anything with you about the new
Yeah,
experience he's stepping in?
he's anxious, just nervous, and I can understand that, because could you imagine, just like, you're going to meet so many new people all at
Exactly.
once,
And
and
especially after those couple years, it
yep.
was devastating for everybody.
Hmm. Hmm. Right. And so I just reminded him, like, you may be feeling like this anxiety, but just think of the person across from you. They feel the same way. So that's a way of bonding right there. Is that it?
Exactly.
Right? Like, you guys are all in this like capsulated moment, and don't think that what you're feeling is like someone else is not feeling the same way.
Valerie, did you feel vulnerable today?
Yes. Yeah, and I also feel like I need to also be a little bit strong for him too, just so that he has feels supported. I'm trying not to like break down and cry, because I don't want him to feel sad for me. So I'm really trying to just be taking all the excitement. I'll maybe on the car ride home. I can't promise anything there, but walking into it, I am going to try to like hold it in and let him have that moment. And then maybe in my quiet moments by myself, I'll just let it go.
I want to wish him all the best. And
Thank you.
as you are practicing this feeling, this means
Mhm.
that you crossed the milestone in your motherhood
Yeah.
journey. Congrats,
Yeah. Thank you.
Valerie, and many years to come. Celebrations with their wins.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Thank you.
let's now dig into LinkedIn profession. So,
Yeah.
Valerie, in the process of content creation,
Yeah.
how fashion and words are related or similar? Because the way you introduced content creation, it's unique, it's new,
Mhm.
and it's glory as you reflecting your
Yeah.
experience from the fashion industry. What you can tell us? How did you come with this combination and this concept about content creation?
Well, if you just to give a little background about me, I have always been very creative ever since I was a little girl. And I knew when I opened up my first fashion magazine, I knew I wanted to be in the fashion industry. There was something just so beautiful about it. It tells a story, it's expressive. Like, I love everything about fashion, because if you think about it, um, when someone's creating collection, it's like telling a story, and I really
Exactly.
appreciated that, right? So I knew what I wanted to do. I went to the fashion industry. I did go into design, like fashion design, but I actually ended up on the business side, which is the retail and the buying. And that was more on like the analytical side. So not only do you get to like see a designer's storytelling, but then me as a buyer, I can just put the pieces together so that it is presented to the customer, so it sells well, it's priced well. You just take all the signals from the customer and you just keep serving them hits, right? So for
Yeah.
me as a content writer now, because I've made that pivot, I made the pivot this year, last year, because I was laid off after 18 years of being in the industry. It was my second layoff from the industry. I felt like I'm really felt done in terms of like satisfied with my career in the fashion industry. So I pivoted over to being a content writer, and slowly, organically, I started getting the same type of skills and the drive to create an article the same way that I would try to sell a collection at a stores. I would come up, with the same way that I would produce my content, which is writing and producing blog articles. You have to research the customer, or the reader, I should say, rather.
Yeah.
You have to research the what is the reader looking for? What are the answers what are the questions they have that you can answer? How are you going to engage that reader from the very first part, which is the headline, all the way to the end? So that kind of thrill to satisfy a reader is the same thing that I had when I was a buyer trying to engage that customer when they first walk in that door. So I found some real strong similarities of just really trying to engage someone.
So, but on a bigger scale now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, on an online scale, yes.
Do you think fashion means the first impressions, the way we interact with others, right? The way we see them. Do you think words can play the same role?
Yes, I do. As a writer, you really only have those 3 to 5 seconds to capture someone's attention, especially these days. There's a lot of noise out there, and you have to be able to
Differentiate
get them,
yourself, yeah.
Differentiate yourself, and also get them interested, spark that curiosity at the very moment, and once you do that and someone can read all the way through, that's a win for me. That's like selling out a collection. It's the same thing.
What's your outcomes so far from testing this new concept with content creation?
So I have been published on some websites. So it's not just me writing on my own blog, but I've been pitching and putting out articles on other websites. And the whole process as a freelancer is very new for me. And it's very vulnerable, really, because you have to pitch to editors, hey, I have this idea for a story. And so you give a headline and you give a description, and you put yourself out there. And, if you have nailed it on the first headline and a little bit of description, they want you to write the article, that's a win. So for me, it's been going well, but it is practice, right? It's like building that muscle. And I'm not going to win all of the pitches, but the feeling of winning one and getting it published, it's just so satisfying, and it just gives a confirmation that my career pivot, I made the right move.
Amazing, Valerie. As you mentioned the blogging, can you tell us about Hello Work Life blog? It's your own blog, right?
Yeah, it's my own blog that I launched actually during the pandemic, because when I was laid off, I was searching for a job in the fashion industry still, but unfortunately my background was all in the stores related. And then at the time, really no one was looking for any store experience because all the stores were closed. The only jobs that were available were e-commerce or digital marketing. So I felt like I need to showcase or show something on the side. I couldn't just rely on my resume to get me in front of hiring managers. I had to show something else that I can stay digitally relevant. So that's when I decided to learn how to launch a WordPress blog. And that's where Oh Hello Work Life was launched. And to be honest with you, like originally it was going to be about project management, but then I decided I don't want to write about that, because if I'm going to stick to a project, I better feel some sort of passion for it, because I'm not going to be consistent.
Exactly.
I'm just knowing myself, right? Like I wanted to commit at least writing for a year on this blog, and I had to pick something that will make me interested and want to write an article, not because I had to. So I decided to write about leveling up in your career, anything about career pivots, anything about starting a side project or side business, all things that were really interesting to me. And also as a bonus, at the time in the US, close to 3 million women were out of work because they were either laid off, lost their jobs, or had to stay at home for family obligations. So I really felt like it was my small contribution to help in any way for anyone who was in the same situation as me, to just give them some information like, hey, do you looking to make a little extra money? Here are 21 ideas of how to make money from home. I just felt, a time of uncertainty for a lot of women. It was just my way of helping.
So that was the stage of entering the entrepreneurship world, doing what you are doing now, right?
Yes. Yeah. Solopreneurship, entrepreneurship. Yeah. I do see my blog as a way that you can monetize it. A blog. I'm not sure if your audience knows this, but it really could be a way of monetization. You don't have to, but it is a way. So to me, that also shows to the readers, like, you can start something on the side, especially online, and you can still monetize it.
Valerie, how you was dealing with the pandemic period? Like, we all still going through, and we are suffering from the outcomes so far.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like you found a solution for after you lost your job, you start your own business, and it's a creative one. It carries message, and at the same talking, it's a business. Do you think we can always get something positive from negative surroundings? You personally experienced that, right?
Yeah, I actually do think that if you were able to zoom out of the situation and not feel so bad about, your circumstance, and really see it as life is not happening to you but for you, then you can see the possibilities and the positivity from even a rejection moment like I had. And I saw that definitely. In the moment, it took me a while. I'm not going to lie to anyone and say like, oh, after it happened, it was instant. It really did take a lot of questioning, a lot of meditation, to really think and say, okay, if this happened to me, then there's a lesson behind it. There's an opportunity behind it. And that's when the blog just came about. And it came organically, because it started out as a side project, and now it's turned into a passion project that's now turned into a business. So sometimes when you think you have a plan for life, but then if you just let things happen organically, something beautiful and much more impactful happens.
Wow, I love that the way you are introducing it, to zoom out from our situation, and go the extra mile to do something different. It starts with our mindset, definitely, and you are a great example for a successful path after losing a job.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, it was difficult, but I am I feel really grateful that I had found LinkedIn. So even during the pandemic, I went back on LinkedIn to look for a job, but surprisingly, I found this amazing community instead. And I think we briefly talked about this before we went live. LinkedIn has definitely changed. And I think that for the better, after we have all gone collectively through this pandemic. And also, let's remind ourselves, like, it's also changed on LinkedIn because we're doing so many virtual meetings. Your home and your work is not separated. So you are a little more vulnerable. And I think that it just shows a little more humanity on this platform. And I think the platform was always very supportive, but I think it's gone to a different level of support. It's like we see each other. You can't hide behind a title.
And the way you shine on the platform is the real reflection from LinkedIn family, because the more you are authentic, the more you are bringing a good content out there, people will give you back, support, and it might turn into a valuable business. You are totally
Mm.
right. The pivot LinkedIn in those couple of years, it was tremendous, amazing, and the good thing about it, it's so focused and it's so targeted. Like you can
Mhm.
really at least learn something. Like for me, for example, when I see
Mhm.
your content on the platform, I learn a lot, and now we are chatting about what you went through. It gives
Mhm.
me, more motivation that Valerie did it. Why I can't do it, And this is how it build up the good examples. You are totally right. I'm too, like I'm so passionate about LinkedIn these days. What's
Mhm.
going on? What's the opportunities, and who you can meet.
I 100% agree with you. And I think it's become more of a narrative like storytelling rather than look
Exactly.
at
Yeah.
me, right? Like, look at me. I'm going to sell you something. There's a lot of chatter of when that's actually the wrong way of going about it in LinkedIn, right? But the right way really, and I hate to always, I don't like to label things the right way, but I think what people really want to see in terms of content is storytelling. They want to share their experience, and they want to find out from people on the platform, do you feel the same way? And it's such a great opportunity to get to know each other because it comes from a place of it's centered around positivity, and people really want to root for you to get that job, right, or to land that deal. And if you can do that in a way of sharing stories, it really just opens up to get to know each other.
And it inspires others,
Yeah.
to create, to engage. It's really amazing, the whole situation on LinkedIn. Are you on other
Yeah.
platforms, Valerie? It's only LinkedIn.
Yes. Mostly LinkedIn. Yeah. Probably like 80% of my time I'm on LinkedIn rather than Instagram. I don't feel the connection as much as I do on this platform.
Oh, LinkedIn. Me too. I only optioned LinkedIn and YouTube. Hopefully, they're gonna start sending me checks soon
Yeah.
from YouTube.
Yeah, definitely.
Valerie, as a HubSpot SEO certified, from
Yeah.
my understanding, you are certified to advise or suggest what articles can play a role in an overall search engine optimization
Yeah.
strategy.
Yes,
Correct?
that's correct. That's right. Yes.
For me, I'm just reading the title and what you do, but can you simplify it, please, for me? I tried to search, what does, engine optimization
Yeah.
strategy work? Like,
How does it
can you
work?
tell us more? Yeah, can you tell us? Because this smile on your post holding the certificate, it's priceless. So can you share with us this moment, and what does it mean?
Yes.
and
So,
and
yeah.
forgive my ignorance, but I'm
Oh, no.
always label myself as a student open to learn.
I love that. I love that. So, search engine optimization is a practice and a strategy so that businesses, articles can be found on Google, really. I mean, there's other platforms, but I'm going to keep Google as because mainly I want to say like 93, 97% of the internet searches are all done on Google. So it's
um,
search engine optimization, just it's a lot of strategy behind trying to get found through the algorithms of Google, and then also on the human side is the content side, right? So you need both. You need to understand how those two work together, because you have to understand how the machines work in the algorithm, how Google runs all of their search queries, and then you have to understand how to write and engage on a human level, because the people who are putting in the searches in the search bars, that's human, but who's gathering the information, that's the algorithms of Google. Yeah. So it's really just about, go ahead.
So, sorry to interrupt. Does this apply to all the platforms, or it's different algorithm between different, let's say, Facebook and LinkedIn and, the other platforms? Is it the same?
I think you can definitely use the same principles. Absolutely. Every algorithm maybe have different priorities of signals of what will come up for your search, but really at the end of the day, the main principles about search engine optimization is you want to understand the searcher. What is the searcher looking for? Think about that question that they are looking for your business. And they're going to type it in. Is your business going to be the one to answer that? So that's why you put long form content out there, like a blog article, to help that searcher find the answers, and hopefully that your business will have the answer for them.
Is it sort of marketing, Valerie?
Sort of marketing. Well, it could be a marketing tool, absolutely, because your blog article, it doesn't have to be salesy at all. It's just maybe answering a simple question that the searcher has, and then they'll remember the feeling like, oh, that's where I got that answer from. Let me go back to that company, right? You're building authority and trust. That's what Google, like as an example, that's what they're looking for. So if your articles, your blog articles, or your content that's out there, if it can answer questions that many people have, then they will always pull it up, because really Google wants the best information out there for their searchers.
So you're gonna settle yourself as a reference for certain kind of customers asking certain questions.
Mm-hmm. I mainly work with coaches or small businesses that they offer some sort of services. And, we basically, in our first meetings, I ask, like, what is the question that always comes up from your audience? Let's answer that question. And let's make your website be the go-to place to answer it.
Wow, I don't know how did you find this and you get certified in it, but it's something hard for me to process,
But it makes sense, right? Because the first thing you have a question, where do you go to? You go to the search.
Now you are simplifying, but engine optimization strategy, search engine optimization strategy, it's a big name, it's like a password to enter NASA.
Yeah, but it's once you get down the principles of it, it's really actually pretty logical. You just have to work with a content writer like myself to put the article together in a way where it gets picked up by the algorithms, because there's certain points in the article that you have to hit and repeat the keywords in. Like, there is a science, but also an art. The science is you're appeasing to the algorithm and the robots, and then the art of it is the reader. So it's a beautiful mix. It's just like creating fashion. That's how I view it.
How long does it take to be certified in search engine optimization strategist?
Specifically in the HubSpot certification, I want to say it's like a 4-hour course, and you study and then you take an exam. So it really is available to anyone who's interested to learning a little bit more. And it's free on HubSpot.com. And that's what I think is so exciting. What's happening here on, in this day and age. Like, we have knowledge at our fingertips, and the bonus is that we have like an institution like HubSpot that can help verify and certify and give you some sort of edge in your profile.
These days, the amount of information that you can get for free, it's unbelievable. Me myself, I'm enrolled in a couple, legal courses now. It's amazing. Like, you feel yourself, you are literally sitting in the college, as if it's on campus. It's really, really amazing. Valerie, I want to say hi to Ahmed Musa. Thank you, Ahmed, for being with us today and for the engagement. I really appreciate. And my next question, Valerie, a couple months ago, your article was featured on a news segment for WCNC. And from that post, you showed celebration for your wins. How important as an active on social media is to celebrate our wins?
Well, I don't know if it's about importance. I feel like
Valerie, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. Can you hear me? Is the Wi-Fi stable again?
I think now, yes.
Okay, good.
Perfectly. Yeah.
So the question was, how important is it to share the wins on a platform like LinkedIn?
Yes. And the reason I'm asking this is your post was featured on a news segment for WCNC.
Yeah, I think it was so important to share that story, because I know a lot of mid-career professionals aren't feeling very happy with their work right now, especially women.
Yes.
They're feeling a little conflicted. They're feeling a little stuck. Do I stay home and help the family? Do I go out and work? Like, I think there's a lot of people who are just feeling a little conflicted with how to move forward. I think what has been a blessing, if you can call some sort of a blessing out of the pandemic, is it's given us time to kind of like reassess and think what's going to be important going forward. Life is so precious. Time is so precious. Do I love what I do right now? And can I still do it for another 5 years? Or should I take this moment and reset and start working on something that I'm very passionate about and still can make money, and make a livelihood and be happy again and have joy in what I do with work? So me celebrating and sharing that moment was really big, because I want people to realize, like, they shouldn't settle. They shouldn't have to work in a career that they're not happy about anymore, because there is education out there. There is access to courses out there now. Everything is accessible, and you can do it on the side. You don't have to quit your job. You can still do it on the side, but you can move towards something that is a job that is filled with purpose or meaning to you. So that's why I think it's important to share those moments with people.
Yeah, working or doing something with passion is the perfect equation ever. And there is always this debate, do what you love or love what you do. It's really critical, but we can always, as you said, and as of now, everything is more flexible, more accessible. We can really do our passion, and at the same talking, keep our jobs. That's a great advice, Valerie. I wish you always share your celebrations with the platform. Like this, we learn from you, and it's nice to see somebody who's happy for achievement, right? it brings,
even the small ones.
happiness.
Yeah,
It's
I think we need that.
contagious.
Yes, it is contagious and motivational. I did a post because my article was published, and the messages through direct messages and private messages that came back, it was just so inspiring and it was so touching because I got these messages like, oh my goodness, now I want to learn about blogging. I want to learn about writing articles. You've inspired me to do this and that. Like that's well worth putting myself out there content, because when you put content out there, it's also a place of vulnerability. You don't know if anyone's going to engage or feel the same way, but when you share those moments and you have a response
Exactly.
back in a positive way, it's so worth it.
It's worth it, and the outcome of it is amazing. Just being out there posting the content, you'll never know who would you inspire at a certain point and change their lives.
Yes, that's 100% true, especially on LinkedIn. Not a lot of people interact and engage, but there are a lot of people reading.
Yes. Valerie, you are on your third career change, right?
Yes.
As of today.
Yeah.
Do you fear failure?
I don't anymore. I did before. In my 20s and my 30s, I was so afraid of failure.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Complete guard, right? But now in my 40s, I don't even know if failure really exists. I like to say that they're just data points that just gives you information on how to move forward. That's how I feel about it now. What do you think about for failure for yourself? What's your definition of it?
This is exactly what I feel. I used, and you know what? Life taught me that the more I felt fear back in the days, the more I did mistakes, and the more as of today, I regretted. But now I'm not afraid of failure, because failure means that I'm trying, and the outcome it's not the the correct one. So I have to get my lesson and keep moving forward till I achieve what I'm looking for. You expressed exactly what I'm living these days and what's my plans for the future. Yeah, I used to fear, and this is drove me to make a lot of mistakes, and sometimes intentionally.
Consciously or unconsciously. Yes, I know what you're saying. Yes.
Valerie, do you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you. It was a little bit spotty, but yeah, I can hear you.
Yes. Fear from failure.
From failures, yes.
I don't know, from the time they start with the 5G thing, there's no 5G, and it's all. Valerie, I'm gonna give you 4 words, and can you tell me the first thing that comes to your mind?
Okay.
The first word is money.
Energy. Possibility.
Wow, I love that. The second word is woman. Plural.
Did you say woman?
Woman, yeah.
Empowerment.
I hope my wife is watching this.
I hope so too.
Third word is fashion.
Expression.
Wow. I love that. And the last, I couldn't do it one word, but it's two words, but it's the last
Okay.
word. It's Valerie Mekki. Am I saying it right, your name?
Yeah, Mekki. Yes.
Okay.
Valerie Mekki.
What's the first thing comes to your mind when you hear Valerie Mekki?
Fighter.
Fighter?
Yeah.
Wow, you don't look
Yeah.
like a fighter. You look so calm, so
No,
confident,
right.
you know.
Yeah. I think I
But,
always want
but,
more out of life.
but I love that. I love fighters. It's more challenging in life. It brings more
Mm-hmm.
joy in life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Never give up. Never settle.
Wow, amazing. What's your future projects, Valerie?
Oh,
If there's a plans you would like to share with us today.
future projects. Well, I have a couple that are happening.
I don't know
I
why,
do
but
plan.
I don't know why, but I have the feeling that you are planning to write a book or something. Am I correct?
Yeah, I do plan to. That is, you're right. That is like in the future, way future. Um, but my plans are to learn how to create a podcast. I love podcasts, and I think that I want to learn more how to produce it. So I'm working on that. I'm taking courses about that and reading about it. I don't want to just be a fan anymore. I want to contribute. So that's on the horizon. And I'm also looking forward to joining up with my co-hosts back on LinkedIn Live in September. Junette Calaruso and Jessica Williams. We have a show on LinkedIn. It's called Career Hustle and Flow. And I can't wait for that season to start up again, season 2 in September. I can't. Are you? I'm sorry.
Wow,
Okay.
Claruso is a celebrity now on LinkedIn, right?
I know. Yeah. Yes. And I'm so
Do you hear me now?
grateful. Yeah. Junette Kellerso is a celebrity on LinkedIn. I'm just so grateful that I've met her. And Jessica Williams.
Did you meet guys in person, or it's only virtual on the platform?
We met
I
in
think
person.
she lives in San Francisco too.
They both. Well, I'm originally from the Bay Area, so I come up to the Bay Area from LA quite often. I'm here right now because my son's going to go to school in the Bay Area, so the Bay Area has a special place in my heart, and that's where June and Jessica and I met over the summer.
That's great. I'll be waiting,
Thank you. Yeah.
just like the millions waiting for your content and the coming project.
Oh, so sweet. Yes. More to come.
Valerie Mekki, I really appreciate being with us today, and I can't thank you enough. I can't thank introducing us to each other.
Yes.
I love the episode today, and I will bring. Valerie, I wish you all the best for
Thank you
you and
so
for
much
your
for having
son
me.
as he is starting the chapter.
Thank you so much. Thank you for everyone who's watching this on the replay or watching this live. I appreciate you, Nidal. Thank you so much for just sharing your platform and stage with me. This is why LinkedIn exists. It's about community, it's about connection, and I'm just so grateful for you all. Thank you so much.
My honor. I'm really honored to have you today with us, Valerie. Stay safe and enjoy your weekend.
Yes, thank you.
It looks like it is. You see, StreamYard doesn't want you to leave. It's not me, Valerie. It's StreamYard.
You always, and people don't know, like when you want to end the show, you have to kind of sit still. I'm just giving you a little behind the scenes, everyone. So I'm just trying to like sit still so that you have a nice ending show. And you're right, StreamYard does not want us to close down the show.
I really appreciate it, Valerie, and enjoy your weekend. Okay. Hopefully, we'll see you in the future soon. On my show too.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I'm going to exit quietly now. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Nidal, so much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Just like the that my guest for she's an amazing professional content creator and HubSpot SEO certified, and I learned from her. SEO is the search engine optimization strategy. Thank you for everyone who watched us today. We were live on LinkedIn and YouTube. And Fikri, thank you also for showing. I just got the message. The connection is really bad. Same here. Happy to see you again after your sister's wedding. And hopefully we will see you soon live. Again, thank you to everyone. And by the end of my the episode, I want to share something happened with me today. A dear friend designed a post for me and sent it to me, and I'll be posting it within half an hour. Coming half an hour. The post says, "Success is not a destination; it's a journey." Thank you, Nadine, for this valuable quote, and I wish everybody a happy weekend. Tomorrow I have on guest Sunday the 15th, and I'll see you then. Stay happy and